Welcome to the Work Hard People's Podcast. Hope everybody out there is doing great. I have Mr. Dylan Smith coming to us all the way from Brisbane, Australia. How are you, my friend?
Mate, I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for coming on. I'm telling you, people, I've been looking forward to this for a few weeks now since we've been talking. I'm very excited to have Dylan on. He's done some good things in his community. He plays cricket. We actually came across each other, I would guess, originally in the Axe and Sledge Facebook group, is where I first came across Dylan. And just a great guy. Father, you got what? Three young girls,
Three girls, yep.
living there in Australia. And one of the things I love is what you've done in your own community. Um, Real quick, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to cut to a clip here of just some things that Dylan has done in his community, and then we'll dig into that a little bit deeper. So take a look at this.
I've been with the club 20 years this year. Love the atmosphere, love the culture. It's a great club for juniors. We've got a very big junior presence here, and the juniors are actually starting to come through. I've got a couple on my team at the moment, and they're actually coming along in leaps and bounds. Like a lot of clubs in Brisbane, we were severely damaged by the flooding that occurred a couple of years ago. We identified that the ground became unsafe, so we started doing a bit of research and looking around and seeing what couldn't be done. I'd actually had no experience with trying to do something like this. It was a very big project, so it was really good to have the likes of Queensland Cricket and the people there that knew what they were doing. It was a two-part project, Queensland Government for the outfield and Queensland Cricket for a lot of the other infrastructure that we've got here. Once we found the information on the website, we contacted Queensland Cricket and we were able to be referred to a number of individuals there. We had some representatives come down on a Sunday afternoon and talk us through the project. It was really good once we got that plan in place that we were able to take off and get what we've got done, because I don't think we would have done it any other way. It's going to be one of those things where we're proud of what we've got here, and I can't wait for this to be completed. I reckon it's going to be absolutely sensational, especially since I'm going to be working on the ground. So yeah, I can't wait to get out there and start rolling some wickets.
So tell us a little bit more about that. So there was a lot of flooding.
Yeah, so about 2 or 3 years ago, Brisbane had a year's worth of rain in about 5 days.
Oh,
Um, and we go through droughts regularly here, so the ground was rock hard. There was no saturation, anything like that. We've got a big dam right beside our field, so basically our field just went underwater and damaged everything. And cricket's played on a field. The ball bounces, and so it's so the block that you play on, or the pitch, I guess you call it,
yeah.
is 80% clay, 30% normal soil, and then grass on top. So obviously, being impacted with a heap of water and stuff like that, it just turned it to crap, and the field became very rocky, and well, not rocky, but very lumpy.
Uneven.
And
Yeah.
obviously you've got a 152-gram ball flying along the ground, and if it hits one of those and smashes in the face, and we have kids playing on our field as well, so it's a very dangerous kind of thing. So we decided to apply for funding, try and get it all redone. And yeah, it's just a real big effort. It's about 150 grand exercise. A lot of the other clubs that have been around Brisbane as well, they got a heap of funding from the government, and the cricket association here in Brisbane, Queensland Cricket Association. And yeah, look, it's been a massive job. It's basically gone about 9 months.
And have you
And
been the one heading this up?
so our president kicked it off with getting the field done, and then we had some pitch consultants come down and say, You need extra this, you need this done, you need this done. And we went, right, okay, well, that's going to cost us about 30, 40 grand. We don't have that being a community club. So I called in some contacts that I knew, and they basically in about 20 hours put in an application to Cricket Australia, and we got about 20, 25 grand worth of funding through there. And we had some money in the bank because I'm the treasurer as well at the club. So we had some money in the bank to do some extra work. And yeah, so now we're hopefully, when everything kicks off in the new year, we're probably going to have one of the best sort of community grounds around. So very lucky in regards to obviously knowing people in the right place. And one of the guys at Queensland Cricket's actually an expat Kiwi like myself. And we knew a lot of the same people. And, you know, you drop a phone call and you go, mate, we need some help. And yeah, just straight onto it. So
That's
as I said,
awesome, man.
21 hours to get an application in with all of the information, all of the paperwork, all photos, things like that of fields underwater. And yeah, mate, it was awesome. So
Yeah, that is awesome, man. And that is what, to me, that's what the world needs, man. It needs more people that are willing to engage with their communities, especially because one of the things I love about like that article that everybody just got to see is you talk about all the youth programs that go on there, and you're building the next generation,
yeah,
which is going to carry the sport on to others, right? And we need
yeah,
more people like that. I have spent my entire life involved with the youth as an adult, whether it's through our various scouting programs, through Boy Scouts here in the United States, whether it's through coaching youth football, um, soccer, just all these different things with the kids.
yeah.
I've always involved myself in coaching and doing things with kids since I was in my 20s. And we need more people like that. And it's one of the things I love about you, dude, is that you're out there in the community. You are building programs to better our youth, which is ultimately going to make us a better people, right?
Yeah, and like our club's gone from strength to strength. I mean, I've been there 20, almost 21 years now. And when I first started, we really didn't have much of a junior presence. We might have had 4 or 5 teams. We've now got 18. And we've
Nice.
also got 3 girls teams as well. So, you know, we're really, really taking off in that space. And there's some really talented individuals that are really involved with that junior side of things. Obviously, we've got a junior component and a senior component, and obviously I've been involved with the senior component for a number of years. So to be able to help with getting that up and running, like we're also building we're hoping to build a new net infrastructure for training, because at the moment we've
Yeah.
got 4 nets. So basically, you imagine, I think baseball does the same thing where they've got like a little tube, and basically you know pitchers throw and
Yeah.
batters
Yeah.
will warm up and things like that. So we've got 4 nets, right? So each has got a cricket wicket, and everyone can have a bowl and a bat. But when you've got 18 teams of 11 kids trying to all jam in a 2.5 hour or 3 hour session on, say, a Monday or a Tuesday night, and then the seniors come along and start training as well, it's there's just not enough space. So,
Yeah.
you know, we're trying to get another set of nets built specifically for the juniors, and you know that's going to be a massive project. It's a $300,000 plus project. So, you know, there's a lot of work that's involved with that. So yeah, it's
Hey, do you
massive,
have
but I mean
links for
the kids love it. I think
donations?
we're one of the
Do you have any links out there for donations for your
probably
projects?
probably not. It's hard with that kind of thing because over here to get donations, you've got to be registered and do all sorts of different things, and you've got to be
Okay.
GST registered, goods and services tax registered, and all this other kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a real struggle to try and get funding and to do things like that. So a lot of it's just through grants and stuff, and applying and hoping like hell you actually get accepted. So I'll definitely look into it, see what we can do. But yeah, look, mate, it's a real struggle to get money sometimes.
Yeah. Because
Um,
I'd be happy
yeah,
to blast it. I know my partner Emma, she'd be happy to blast it on social media. You know Heidi do it. I mean,
yeah.
we could definitely flood
Oh yeah, look, and it's an
for
awesome
donations for stuff like that.
it would be an awesome thing to do. It's just the legalities of it and the background work. We've you know, I mean, we're going through the process of hiring a groundsman because our groundsman, who was a member of the clubs, decided to retire after 20 years of doing it. So we're now having to look for a new groundsman and trying to get the funding, because obviously that's going to be a massive cost now. So it's
Of
either
course.
our fees go up
Yeah.
exponentially or we
Yeah.
start getting funding from somewhere. So yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle. I wouldn't say struggle. It's probably more of an experience of
Just
going through the
work, man.
process of learning all this
Just
stuff. Oh,
work.
it is, mate. It is.
It's
It
just work.
is. Like
I know it,
I,
dude.
I,
I
I
know what you're
said,
talking
I
about.
said, I said 3 years ago that I'd do the treasurer's role for 6 months until someone came along, and it's been 3.5 years. So yeah, it's all good fun, man. But I love it. I love it to death. But it's just the frustration you get when you come across a roadblock or something like that. Like the Lord Mayor of Brisbane, he's a local, and we put in a submission for this net structure that we want to build, and I got a letter from him a day late, and they wouldn't accept it. And it's like, for Christ's sakes, this is coming from the Lord Mayor. It's going to the Queensland government. Come on, guys. It's an
Yeah.
endorsement. Just
Let's
it's like,
do
man,
it.
come on. We're trying to do everything we can here. Just accept it. And they're like, no.
Yeah. Sometimes
Oh,
people make things more
man.
difficult, I think, than it needs to be, right?
Oh,
I mean, a
mate.
lot of the
It's
red tape that you got to go through to do certain projects, it's like, come on, there's got to be an easier way.
look, as you say, it's benefiting the kids. It's not benefiting the
Yeah.
seniors. It's benefiting the
Yeah.
kids. And I mean, if you want kids to stay off the streets and stop doing stupid shit and, graffitiing and whatever, or running around the streets at eight
Yeah.
o'clock at night, give them something to do.
Yeah.
Give them a
It's
cricket
one of the
ground to go to
reasons
and stuff like that.
it's one of the reasons. So like the local high school here, just so people know, uh I am in Tallahassee, Alabama. It is currently 6:10 on Saturday night. My boy Daryl here is or Dylan is in uh Brisbane, Australia. It is what, 10:10 in the morning Sunday.
Sunday. I'm in the future.
He's he's in the future. So, but
I'm
no,
in the
like the
future.
all the kids at the local high school know that I'm a strength and conditioning coach, that I'm certified in it. I have done it for years.
Mm.
And I work with all of them for free in our local gym.
Yeah, and that's, mate, those are the things that, like, there's a couple that have moved in around the corner, and their son, I saw him wearing a Carina shirt one day, which is the club I play for. Um, and I was walking the dog the other day, and it was their prize giving on Friday night, and I just started having a chat with them and said, I've been down at the club for years. Did you enjoy the prize giving? Yeah, the kids love it. It's his first year playing cricket. He absolutely loves the club. He loves the atmosphere. He loves the people there. And that brings enjoyment to me, knowing that there's young kids out there that are finding something to do rather than sitting at home playing on computer games, doing whatever, just doing
Yeah,
nothing. They're actually
getting
out
out
there
and
playing a
about.
sport and having, yeah,
It's so important, man. I mean, just being out, that the health benefits of going outside and playing and running around and doing things with your. I saw something today that I have not seen in more than a decade. Yesterday, my wife and we were leaving the house. We had to go over to the grocery store. Across the street, there were two kids and a bunch of their friends wrapped around them. They literally had boxing gloves on, and they were boxing. And we used to do that as a kid, dude. As a matter of fact,
yeah,
when I was in the fifth grade, dude, I had a teacher that if you got in a fight at school, he would keep you after school, bring you in his class, put big old boxing gloves on you, spread the chairs out. You guys would duke it out, and then he'd make you hug, and you went about your business as
yeah,
friends,
yeah.
right?
Like
It was
the
great.
wife
They
and
were
I have
having a
spoken to,
great time.
yeah, yeah, we've spoken about that. Like my wife and I have spoken about it in the past. Like, I'm 46, so you go back 30 years, and growing up in New Zealand, it was great. You'd be riding around your bikes until 6 o'clock at night. You'd hear one, two, three parents start yelling out dinner, and you'd all congregate back home. You know,
Yeah,
these days, your kids can't ride around because God knows what could happen with them. The kind of lifestyle and childhood that we had is completely different to the lifestyle that kids have these days. They're either on their phone doing whatever.
Yeah.
They're on iPads, they're on whatever, sitting inside or watching Netflix or shit like that. They're not outside doing things. And the sporty ones do get out there and do it, but then they also, spend bloody 4 hours a day sitting on their ass doing nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's time for
It's
sports.
one of
Got to
the
go and do
things.
sports. Okay, sweet.
It's one of the things I love about the community that we live in. We moved out here a little over a year ago. It's a very small community. Oftentimes, I don't even lock my door all the time anymore. Um, it's very quiet. There's very little crime. You see kids out playing all the time, walking
Yeah,
around the streets, coming up, petting the dog. They
yeah,
are respectful. It's a good community. Very good people
yeah, and
here, and it's
yeah,
nice.
that sounds very similar to the kind of place I grew up in New Zealand. And so I'm from a tiny little town called Whangarei, which is 2 hours north of Auckland,
Yeah.
which is
So
pretty
why
much on
Kiwi
par
to
with
Aussie?
Sydney.
What's up with that? Why the move?
Uh, Followed a girl,
Political, okay?
followed a girl, and didn't go back.
Yeah, it's just
So
just booked, huh?
yeah, yeah.
That's
Look,
good.
New Zealand's a lovely place. Like if it hadn't have if it hasn't well hadn't have changed as much as it had. Mum and Dad are still back there. They're still back on the family block. Um, I grew up in a reasonably rural area. A lot of farming. Um, small towns, only like 40,000 people spread out over a reasonable space.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're running around in the bush up the back, mud fights, all that kind of stuff as a kid.
Yes.
You get the slug gun and the 22 out every so often, and
Yeah.
mucked around and did stupid shit that you do,
Yeah.
ride
Like we
motorbikes
used
and
to have
crash
BB gun
crash into fence
fights, dude,
poles and stuff.
literally.
Yeah, yeah,
BB gun
you
fights,
know,
one pump rule. You can only one
yeah,
pump it. And we would be crazy running around as a kid. It was insane.
yeah. But I mean, you can't do that shit these days, and it's
No.
unfortunate because I would have loved my kids to have grown up in that kind of, carefree kind of environment. But the world changes.
And you have
Australia's still a
wait, you
great
have
place
three
to
girls.
live.
You have three girls under 14,
Yep,
right? You
yep.
ready for that?
Not really.
I did that,
I'm
by the
just I'm
way.
just gonna put a gun rack up at the front door. It's gonna be empty, but yeah, any blokes that come
Okay.
along that
Funniest story, dude. You got to hear this. So I have three girls and a son, right? I have four kids. My girls are now, what are they? 33, 30, and 27. So I ran that gauntlet. My middle daughter had decided she wanted to have a movie night at the house. Her and a boy and her girlfriend and a boy. And mom and I had to stay in the bedroom, right? We're like, okay, fine, they're doing their thing. So the way our house was at the time, the bedrooms were like on one side, and you could come down the hall, and there was a foyer, and then it opened in. We had like this great room. It was like a living room, family room, kitchen. Everything was very open. And I come down into the foyer right as this guy, this little teenage boy, is putting his arm around my daughter, and I rack my shotgun. No shells in it. I just rack it. Kid went over the couch, dude. I never lived that down. She's probably still pissed at me to this day for doing that.
oh, that's gold. That's
Oh,
gold.
dude,
Oh,
couldn't help it.
yeah. I,
It's
I
like,
don't I don't I think I'd be disowned if I ever tried that with my girls.
well, girls are
Yeah,
great, man. Girls love their daddies. They do. They love their daddies.
yeah.
But man, they are a handful. There's a lot of drama that comes with teenage girls. I'm sorry, but that's the
I'm
way
not
it
going to say
is.
that out. I'm not going to say that out too loud because I've got one standing pretty close, so she might wallop me.
Hey, bring her on. She can come on.
Yeah, she's standing here. She's pretty shy.
That's
She's all
good.
right.
That's awesome. No,
Yeah,
girls
nah,
are the best,
she's good.
man. I love my girls. I now have two son-in-laws. I almost have a daughter-in-law and four grandkids, and I'm telling you, there's nothing better. Nothing better.
Nah,
I had the grandkids over the other night. I got two granddaughters and two grandsons. and my two granddaughters were sitting on the couch watching a Christmas movie, having a little popcorn. It just
Yeah.
good times, man. It's good times.
Yeah.
Family is
No,
great.
they they're good kids. The oldest is quite into futsal. So like indoor
What's that?
Brazilian soccer.
Oh,
Indoor
okay. Yeah,
Brazilian
yeah, yeah.
soccer. Futsal.
Gotcha.
It's five aside. She's a
Yeah,
goalkeeper. She made the one of the state sides recently. Well, not stateside, but like a step down from that. She went to state competition, which they won. She didn't get
yeah.
as much game time. It was only her first year, but yeah, no, she's bloody awesome.
I actually
She
snapped
really
my knee
excels
in
at that.
half playing indoor soccer. I went to
In
kick a ball
half.
off the wall. I went to kick a ball off the wall, and as I leaped up, I landed wrong, and my knee literally folded. My kneecap wedged into my thigh. I tore the MCL, the
Oh
patella tendon. It was a freaking mess, dude. Absolute mess.
man,
Absolute
I've
mess.
I don't know if you can see that, but I fell out of a
Yeah.
tree when I was
Oh,
8 years old, and yeah,
yeah.
that hurt. But
Yeah.
I don't think doing that would would be too kind.
No, it's crazy. So now let me ask you this, Dylan. Do you coach cricket? Do you coach any of the youth
I am
or
a I'm a level one coach. So I've got Cricket Australia accreditation to do level one coaching, which is pretty much just basic stuff. But I do go down and help the kids out. One of the young fellas who or he's not that young anymore. He's about 2021's really heavily involved. He's like a technical coach down there. So I go down and do master classes and obviously with 30 odd years experience of playing, I pass on my knowledge to the kids. I've also coached soccer, football, managed there as well with a club in Brisbane called Mount Gravatt Hawks.
yeah,
So did that for a few years. So yeah, so no, I do coach,
good.
which is good fun. It's rewarding too, because like there's like I'm a captain of a team. I've got a team over here. We play every second Sunday, hence the injury. And I've got I've got four young fellas in my team under the age of 18. I've got a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old brothers, and they're absolutely fantastic. I've got a 16-year-old that's got more talent and natural ability than he could shake a stick at. He plays off a two handicap at golf.
Oh, okay.
He's just
Yeah.
he's sensational. The kid's got more talent than he actually really understands. And I've got a 17-year-old who's actually an expat Kiwi as well. And these just these kids are great. They soak up knowledge. They love to learn. And obviously
Yeah.
being the old fart in the team, um, and the captain, they've got to listen to me. Um, they soak up the knowledge, and a lot of the other guys in the team as well are actually, they love passing on advice and coaching and stuff like that as well. Whether it be on field or, after the game where we're having a beer and just mucking around and talking about the day. Everyone passes on knowledge, and it's really good that the young fellas coming through and girls as well. They like to learn, and they like to learn about the sport, and it's really, I guess, encouraging from my point of view as well that they actually want to learn.
It's
You get
important.
some, yeah,
It's such an important thing. You sit around. I remember as a kid playing high school football and playing sports as a kid and talking with these older guys that had played college ball and I had friends that played professional baseball and have gone very far with athletic careers and to talk with them and glean that experience and wisdom that you
mm,
learn as you level up, right? Because
yeah,
that's the key, right? As you gain that wisdom, as you learn a little bit and you get a little bit better at something more efficient, that 1% better, you're continually working on it and you level up. And now you have more information that you can provide to the generation
mm.
coming behind you. And if you're
Oh,
not,
definitely,
if you're not sharing that information, if you're keeping it to yourself, you're doing your world and the people around you a disservice.
yeah, exactly. Like, so when I was in New Zealand before I moved over here, I was playing. I guess I was trying to think about it. So imagine Michael Jordan, right? Played for USA.
Yeah.
So top level, comes down and plays for the Bulls, right? So that's like first what they call first class over here, or first class cricket, whatever you want to say. And then there's probably, 3 or 4 grades underneath that. I was probably playing about 5 grades underneath international cricket, right?
Hmm.
So the club that I was playing for in New Zealand, Carmo, had a guy by the name of Bruce Martin. Now Bruce Martin went on to play cricket for New Zealand. There was also guys at other clubs. There was the Marshall twins, Hamish and James Marshall, who played cricket for New Zealand. Uh, Guys that played first class cricket. You're playing against guys that have played at the highest level, right? And
Hmm.
these guys are actually quite keen and eager to pass on information. Sorry, the wind's just decided to pick up.
No, you're
Um,
good. You're good.
this has been my office for almost the last 4 years.
No,
This
that's
is where I
good, man. It's a
so
beautiful
yeah.
office. I like it.
So that's once it zooms in, that's my office.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is a
Yeah.
good office.
Yeah, so when COVID kicked in, we all got kicked out, and basically, yeah, I've stayed pretty much here ever since. But yeah, so we had guys like Matthew Bell as well, who played Test cricket for New Zealand. I know Dinger really well, and if he used to live around the corner from me. Guys like that pass on knowledge, and it's really good that they have. As you say, there is the occasional one that just turns around and goes, "No, I don't care. You're below me. I don't give a shit." And as you said, they're doing everyone a disservice because they're not passing on knowledge. And so to be able to do that for the kids coming through, like the last masterclass I did, I had kids probably aging from about 8 or 9 up to 14, 15. And it was great to be able to coach different age groups and see it in their eyes. And you show them one thing or you teach them one thing and they go, right, I'll try that. And you just see the difference. And it's almost like that aha moment where they go, oh, that's how you do it.
Got it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing wrong. I've got it. Like there was this young fella, I was doing a bowling masterclass, and to bowl leg spin's really hard. You've got to flick your wrist and do all sorts of weird things, right? And what happens is the ball spins.
Yeah.
So he was doing this
It's like
stuff,
throwing a
and I was
curveball,
going,
right? In
yeah, it
baseball.
is, it
It's like
is, it
you
is,
put
yeah, exactly.
I watched a little bit of some videos and stuff of people bowling. And it is interesting because does the ball have to bounce?
Yes. Well, it
So
doesn't have to,
it
but
can
it's
you can
supposed
throw it
to.
straight, but
It's
it's
sup-
supposed
it's
to
sup- it's
bounce.
supposed to. If
Yeah.
if it goes above the waist, it's called a no ball, so it's a free hit, but it's
Yeah.
supposed to bounce.
Okay.
Occasionally, you get the odd doofus who tries to throw it at your head,
Yeah.
and that's why you wear a helmet. Um, but yeah, it's supposed to bounce, and that's why I said you play on like a 80% clay
Yeah.
surface, and that gets rolled and all sorts of stuff and compacted down, so it's almost like concrete.
Yeah. So the
Right,
ball
but
bounce.
it's
Yeah,
but
gotcha.
it's so it bounces, right? And of course, I don't have a ball here, but it's got a seam,
Like a
so you know
baseball. I
how
yeah, I saw it.
like a
It looks like
baseball's
a baseball. Yeah.
like that. Yeah, it does. It's pretty much the same size.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same size, but it bounces and it does all sorts of variable things off the ground and things like that. So when I was teaching this kid, and his dad was there as well, and he started doing this, and it's like all of a sudden it's just this light bulb moment, and he's all of a sudden he's got 6 balls in an over, and he's put 5 out of 6 on the spot, right? Perfect delivery, and I'm
Yeah.
batting just to show him what to do, and he's perfect, and it's just like all of a sudden this huge smile on his face, and Dad's like, my God, that was awesome, that's fantastic, and I just think he did really well in the last game that they played. I think I saw his name in the results thing, and he's picked up like 4 or 5 wickets. So, that kind of thing to help kids out is just, it's awesome. You see the smile, you see that light bulb moment, and it just helps them going forward because they take that forward with them into future games and stuff like that.
And it is cool when they get it, man. When you're coaching someone
Oh,
and
it
they
is.
finally get it and you see it click.
Yeah,
You can see the click happen
yeah,
and it's just like they got
yeah.
this. That's
Oh,
a
yeah,
great feeling as a coach. It's one of the reasons I love to coach, man. It's one of the reasons
yeah.
I love to help people because even, I do a lot of personal training and I work with bodybuilders that are prepping for the stage. And to see like when we're going over different movements, right? Of how to
Mm,
engage the muscle. Like the last one of the last kids, man, that I was training there, it was getting him ready for his first show. and he was doing a men's physique show, and he couldn't get his lats to engage. He couldn't get his lats to engage. And finally, we got him, dude, and his lats just boom flared out, and he was so like his eyes lit up. He was like, "Whoa, I've
Mm.
never seen that before." You
Yeah,
know,
I remember you talking to Emma about that,
yeah,
and
it's just
and
it's
she's trying to
great.
do it, and she's sitting there doing this and trying to
Yeah,
get him to
it's
go.
hard. It's
Yeah,
hard to get that mind muscle connection, but once it
yeah.
hits, and it's the same thing, I'm sure. It's that mind muscle connection, the muscle memory. It's the same thing with a golf swing. It's the same thing swinging a bat. It's the same thing, I'm sure, playing cricket. There are certain things that when they click, it just makes it
It
slows the game down.
it does, and that's what I said earlier. You know, cricket is the love child of baseball and golf.
Yeah.
It's it has the similarities of baseball, the mental game of golf, and it's actually been called one of the most uncoordinated games you can play because you get your body into all sorts of weird positions that
Especially hitting, man.
are
Yeah.
not natural,
Yeah.
and
I've
you
seen
know
some
unless
crazy swings hitting, man. Like they're court like I'm like, what are you
yeah.
doing?
Oh, exactly. It's not a natural swing. Like golf is a
Yeah.
natural swing. Baseball's a natural swing. Cricket,
Yeah.
you go and play an off drive, and all of a sudden you're twisting your body this way, you're doing this, your feet are off over there somewhere, and you're trying to hit the ball that way.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how do you get your body like that?
Yeah.
But yeah,
It is crazy, man. It looks fun. I'm
yeah.
telling you what, I wish I'd have learned it, been more interested in it when I was younger and could actually have played it. Because it looks like it'd be fun to play.
It's bloody awesome. Like, so there's three competitions really. There's Test cricket, which goes for 5 days, which can be as boring as batshit, but it's tactical. It's a lot more than just smash the ball and hope like hell you score more runs than the opposition. You get 1 days, which are 50 overs, so 300 balls per side, and that can be tactical as well. I just had a World Cup over in India, and they had some massive scores, and Australia came home with the goods there.
There you go.
And then you get T20, which is basically 20 overs, hit and giggle, smash the ball as hard as you can, try and
And
get as
that's
many
like
wickets
that
as you
takes
can.
like a day, right? The T20, doesn't that take like a
I
day?
won the T20 is like over in 3 hours.
Oh, that's the short one. Because there's three, right?
That's the
I
short
was
one.
doing
Yeah,
some
yeah,
research.
yes.
There's like 3 hours, there's a day, and then there's like
Yeah.
5 days.
So the one day normally goes for about 7 hours. So that's the competition I play. I used to play, they call them 2 days over here. So you play every Saturday. So you play one half of the game and then another half of the game the following weekend. You test cricket, which is 5 days in a row, or less, depending on how good you are and the
Yeah.
conditions and all that kind of thing. That's the more tactical game. That's where you've got I guess it's a lot more. That's a very mental game. It's a very strategic game. The 1 days they're still strategic, but it's more around just again score as many runs as you can, bash the ball, do whatever. And the T20 is just I call it hit and giggle. You know, you have a swing, you miss, you have a bit of a laugh, and you go, shit, I should have smashed that, but I didn't. Um, so yeah, look, there's differing forms. There's actually a T10 now, which is 10 overs. They're playing that in like Dubai, and I think they've had some competitions in the US where they've played that.
And the
Um,
runs are the scores are kind of crazy too, because you can do like get like 1 point. You can if you hit it out of the park, what is that, like six?
that's
Like six,
six. So
six?
if you hit it over, so the difference between, I guess, baseball and cricket is we play on an oval and you're out in
Yeah.
the middle, right? So if you hit it over the boundary or outside the oval, that's six. If you hit it along the ground or it bounces inside the oval and goes over the rope, the boundary oval, the boundary, that's four. And then you get three, two, and one in between. But you've got to run 22 yards to
Yeah,
get one
between the
run.
wickets, right?
Yep.
And there's two
You're
hitters
learning.
on the field,
Yep.
right? There's
Two
two
hitters.
hitters. Yeah,
Yep.
that's crazy too. Now, how does that work?
You
Does
swap each
does he
end.
pitch to one, pitch to the other, pitch to one? Is that how, or
So
bowl? Because it's bowling,
So
right?
yeah, it's bowling. Yeah. So an over, which is a bowler, has 6 balls per over, and they normally go for about 4 minutes per over, depending on what's going on. Um, so one bowler bowls at one end, and then you swap ends, and then another bowler bowls at the other end. So if I was saying bowling at this end, I couldn't then turn around and bowl at that end. Someone else has to
Gotcha.
bowl. You've got two umpires, one at each end, generally. And yeah, and then the batsman. So say if the over finishes and I'm on strike here, I don't swap back over. It's the other guy then faces up. So
Gotcha.
yeah, it's as I said, it's the weird love child between golf and baseball. It's definitely an interesting game. I love it. I've been playing it, as I said, close on 30 years.
Yeah, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
I like sports in general.
yeah,
I played a lot. I actually played tackle football in pads until I was like 42 was the last time I played in pads.
wow. So you need
I
to learn to play rugby, mate. There's no pads in
Oh,
rugby.
trust me, I wanted to play rugby. I've done some pickup rugby games growing up, like in my 20s and 30s. I love rugby. I liked Australian rules football. I used to watch that when I was
Yeah.
8, 9 years old on ESPN, dude. Loved it. So,
I still don't understand it. Like I've been here 23 years. I still don't understand it. Like it's fast and it's full on, but I still don't understand the
well,
rules,
it's
eh?
kind of like
It's
rugby and maybe a little bit of football over there, right? So,
it's Gaelic
yeah,
football, so it's
yeah,
Irish football.
yeah.
All right. So it's very
It's
similar to that,
fun.
just with an oval ball. So
But yeah, I loved it. I mean, I played some tournament golf. I was actually a +3 handicap for about a decade. Played a lot of
shit, that's all right.
amateur event. Yeah, I was very
My
good. Never
my
could quite
handicap is
make
my
it.
swing.
My handicap was really putting. I was a terrible putter, dude.
Yeah,
I was great
mate.
from tee to green, but
I can tee off and the ball will go that way. Go straight for a
power
little while.
fade. It's a power
Yeah,
fade.
power fade. That's the one. Apparently, I
What?
play really good golf, cart golf,
Yeah,
because I hit it the same way as my brother-in-law. It's always
yeah,
over there.
you're
So
always right
we
there.
jump in the
That's good.
cart and then we're off to the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah, no, it's
you
good.
talked earlier about practicing, having the nets where they can, hit the ball over and over and get used to that. And that is the key when we discuss personal development. When we talk about those things in our lives, that's what it is. It's practicing a task over and over until you
Mm,
become efficient, right?
yeah,
And it's the same, I'm
and
sure, with cricket, golf, anything you do, family.
yeah.
Practicing
Oh,
talking with your
it's.
spouse is important.
Oh, I agree, same with cricket. It's muscle memory. Yeah, it's really just consistency and doing it over and over again. It's like with bowling. I mean, if you watch any videos on bowling, you see some of the weird and contorted ways that they put themselves into their action, which is what it's called, and the amount of injuries that people get, pulled backs, uh, what are they, stress fractures in the back, things like that. Just the way that they twist and do all sorts of weird things. You get some bowlers called frogs in a blender. It's just the way that they look when they bowl, because they're all
Yeah.
arms and legs and everything in between. Yeah, it's muscle memory, and teaching kids from a young age to do that and to be consistent in what they're doing, because if they start getting to a point where they're putting strain on their body, or they're getting themselves into a position where they can't, or they're gonna hurt themselves, it's picking that up and going, hey guys, you need to change the way you're doing it. There's middle child. Um, School
That's
holidays
good. I
now,
love
so
it. Love it.
yeah, school holidays, so they're mucking
Yeah.
around. They're about to go off to the movies, I think. Um,
Well, it's summertime there, right?
yeah,
It's coming into
yeah.
summertime because we're coming into
Oh mate,
winter and you're in the
I
southern
did.
hemisphere, so
Yeah, I did lawns, hedges, and what else did I? Oh, we put up Christmas lights. I got myself
yeah, there you
crisped,
go.
so I'm well, you can't really tell it through here, but I'm pretty bloody burnt. Um,
That's good.
but yeah, and I lost about a kilo on bloody sweat.
Yeah, I bet. What's the temp run around
Oh,
there?
look, it ranges anywhere between, like at the moment, it's overcast, there's a bit of a breeze, it's coolish. Um, but anywhere between sort of 32 degrees centigrade up to maybe 40, 42 on a hot day.
So,
So pretty
so
bloody hot. But
32 degrees
humidity here,
centigrade. What's the difference between Fahrenheit and centigrade? Isn't it so? Is it like 30 degrees?
uh,
I know
Dr. Google will tell me.
0 degrees centigrade is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So you got to be anywhere from what, 60 to 80,
Uh, 32 degrees is 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
90 degrees. So because well, that's warm too. Because you're Brisbane, you're kind of on the Gold Coast, right?
About an hour north of the Gold Coast.
But you're
So
close.
you've
You're
got
like on the
Brisbane,
ocean, pretty close, right?
reasonably close. We're a bit inland here, so we're probably about half an hour inland
Okay,
from the coast.
that's
But
about where
yeah,
I
the Gold
grew up.
Coast.
I grew up in a town
Okay,
called Poway, which is about 30 minutes from the beach in San Diego, right? So about 30 minutes from
nice.
there. And the weather was similar, very similar
Yeah,
to that.
yeah.
So,
So probably looking at that, where we are on the equator, so obviously we're south, you're probably almost the same on the
yeah.
north side of the
hmm
equator.
In
Yeah.
Alabama,
No,
I'm
it's
telling you right now, we have some crazy. It'll be 100 degrees and raining, bro.
oh mate,
It's nasty
it's
down there.
amazing. It's amazing here. So the Toowoomba Ranges is probably about an hour and a half west of here, and it's a reasonably high range. Oh, I wouldn't say it's a mountain range, but it's a reasonably high range. And what happens is the warm air, the westerlies coming off the deserts because it's desert
Yeah.
inland, come off the desert, and as soon as it comes down and hits the cool air coming off the water, storm cells just appear, and you can
hmm
have a massive storm cell just come through, and it'll be 20 minutes, half an hour, bucketing down with rain, and then it's sunny again.
Yeah. It's
It's just
crazy. Like we
it's
get a lot
amazing.
of
You just get these
tornadoes out
storm
here,
cells
man.
come through.
We get
Yeah, no,
lots
we're
of
lucky we don't get
tornadoes
that
out here
shit.
every year. So I actually had a friend. I don't know if you
Yeah,
saw that episode, but I had a buddy of mine, him and his son, they actually got hit by
that's
an
right. Yeah,
F5 tornado. Big one. It
yeah,
like
saw that.
rearranged their whole life. So
Yeah, no, screw that.
yeah, it
Screw
gets
that.
that's the scaredest my son has ever heard me in my entire life. I was driving, I was between, well, Birmingham, Alabama, and Montgomery. So that's about 90 miles apart. And I was in between the two, heading to Montgomery. It's when we lived in Montgomery. And I got so scared because there were people talking about a tornado on the ground heading our way, and I was scared enough that I called my wife to tell her I loved her just in case
Yes.
I didn't make it. And the tornado, I literally saw it come right across the interstate, less than less than a quarter mile from me. It came across,
Shit.
and I was like, I'm like, it's on the ground. I got debris. I love you guys. I love you guys. Right? It's like, and then I'm like, okay, I'm safe. It's gone. It's gone. And my son's like, Dad, that is the scaredest I've ever heard you in my life. Like, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I just
fuck
want to make
that.
sure you knew I loved you.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, yeah, it's
That's full on,
crazy,
man.
dude. Yeah,
That's
it's
full on.
crazy, man.
Yeah, no,
But
we don't get any like yeah, we'd never get anything like that here. But yeah, the storm cells just like there was a time that you could time them like 4 o'clock every afternoon. Just a storm
yeah,
cell would come through, half an hour, bang, and destruction, like trees over,
yeah,
massive rain dump. Like as I said, a couple of years ago, we had 5 days worth of rain in a week. Sorry, a year's worth of rain in five
yeah,
days.
yeah. That's
It was
crazy.
just massive. And one of the guys I think did so the Bureau of Meteorology here does obviously the weather forecast and the maps and all that kind of thing. And he did simulation up of that 5 days, and basically all it was just this consistent bloody storm sitting over Brisbane for 5 days, just circling around. Like it would go out to sea and then come back in,
Yeah.
and then go out to sea and then come
Go
back in.
grab
And
more
it was just,
moisture and come on in.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And it would just absolutely dump, and it was like it was pretty bad. And like Brisbane's based on a river, so if it floods, it floods. It's just you're
Yeah.
never going to get away from it. Luckily, we're in the burbs a bit. We're on a hill, so we're not going to worry about that with the flooding. But just the amount of rain that we had, it was just phenomenal. Like just yeah, I've never seen anything like it, and I've been through some pretty nasty storms in New Zealand and over here.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah,
So,
that area of the world is one of the places I would love to visit and haven't had the opportunity yet.
mate, it's
Uh,
great. No matter what anyone
yeah.
says, there are no snakes sitting in there.
No, I
I
ain't even
hope.
worried about the wildlife. That don't even bother me. I wanna visit. I'd love to visit Australia and New Zealand and even, Fiji and just that whole region.
Fiji's
Um,
nice,
yeah, it
very
just
third world,
is.
but Fiji's
Yeah,
lovely.
I just like to
Australia's,
visit.
mate, like you come down this time of the year and you'd love it. It's
Yeah.
it's fantastic down here. Like the people are great, the beaches are great, pubs are great. Um, it's just a really, really nice place to visit. And I mean,
Yeah,
all
I
you got
got
to do
to
is just,
travel a little bit when I was in the Air Force, but
just
never there.
look at that, man. I mean, you
Oh
you
yeah.
can't go wrong with that.
No, there's
It's
nothing wrong.
sensational.
Yeah, it's
So
gorgeous for
yeah,
sure. But yeah,
New Zealand's just as nice.
my wife was actually born in South Korea.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's her parents, my in-laws, my dad, my father-in-law was in the Air Force, and he was
Okay.
stationed
Yeah.
at Korea. And she
Yep.
was actually born there, off base actually at a Korean hospital, this local
Oh,
Korean
wow.
training hospital. And she actually had dual citizenship till she was 18. She had to choose whether she wanted to be a Korean
Oh,
citizen or a
okay.
United States citizen. Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
I
So,
could get, if I wanted to, I could get dual citizenship. So I'm not a citizen of Australia. I'm a resident, permanent resident.
yeah.
Um, I don't have to vote, which is great. Um, I'm still a New Zealand citizen, but if I wanted to get dual citizenship, I could.
Yeah.
It's just
Now, is your
I
wife
don't
from
need
New
to.
Zealand too, or is she from
No, she's
Australia?
Australian. She's
She's
Australian.
Australian. Nice.
Yeah, kid's
Very
Australian.
good. Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's mate, it's the opportunity that I've had here, and like it's interesting. We're in the same profession pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I would not have had the opportunity in New Zealand as I have had over here.
Hmm.
Um, Definitely a lot more opportunity. Um, I've worked with some pretty big businesses over here, and the role that I'm in at the moment is absolutely fantastic. I love it. Has its moments, as all
Yeah.
roles do, but it's been a really good thing. And earlier this year, I actually got the opportunity to do a bit of a road show and travel around. Well, I went over to Perth, got COVID, and got stuck in a hotel room for 5 days, which was absolutely fantastic. Um, but an opportunity to go out and actually say, why I'm passionate about what I do, and especially the insurance space. So, it's always been something I've been passionate about, making sure that you know the problem in Australia is that there's a massive underinsurance space. Everyone
Mhm.
just relies on Social Security or what you guys call them, I think, a 401k pension. It's called superannuation over here. Everyone relies on that, and everyone's running out real quick.
Yeah, it's
And
people
if you don't
are
have insurance in place, it's stupid.
I find that people are either number one underinsured. Most people I talk with, they are way
Yeah.
underinsured. And the other thing too is
Mm.
that they are oftentimes paying a lot more for the coverage that they have than they need to.
Yeah,
One of the
I agree.
advantages that I have is I'm an independent broker. It's my own business, right? And
Mm.
I'm contracted with about 50 different insurance carriers in the United States and Canada. So I, and as you know, I'm sure every carrier has their own sweet spot, whether it
Yep.
be medical issues or age and health, right? Like there's a company, if you're looking for a term product, that literally nobody can touch. If you're between the ages of 18 and 60 and in good health, nobody can touch their rates. You can get, I mean,
Mm.
man, I can get a 25-year-old kid over or $1 million of coverage without a medical exam for less than $100. I mean,
Shit, that's all right. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
that is their sweet spot, right? So it
yeah,
and
yeah. It's
that's
it's the same here.
yeah.
Same here.
Yeah,
So
you
there's
just
a
you
couple of
gotta you
providers over here that are that their male cancer definitions are the best
mhm.
in the market, and so I've got a
Yeah,
family history of prostate cancer, so I go with them.
yeah,
Simple as that,
exactly.
you know,
But people
and I
just
know I'm
you
going to
gotta
get
take
paid
care of
out
your
if anything
family.
happens.
Yeah. You
Mm.
gotta
Oh,
take care of
bloody
your
oath.
family, man. Be prepared. You don't want to be on Facebook freaking trying to raise money to, feed yourself or bury a loved one. You
Yeah,
just don't want to do
and
that. You don't want to be that.
and that's one of the reasons why I was passionate about the insurance space. Is my grandfather got prostate cancer, is ex Air Force as well. Had the government, you know, army pension. Um, Typical male, you know, ignored all of the signs. By the time he found out, it had gone up his spine and into his brain. He had a stroke pretty much the night he got told that it they'd missed it, and unfortunately was yeah, after that stroke he was never the same. So about 18 months later he passed away, but no insurances, no nothing. Um, the family home that they'd lived in for 50 years was sold for 100 grand. um, so that my grandmother could go into an aged care facility
Yeah.
because she couldn't handle living there by herself. Just shit like that. It's simple stuff that you turn around and go for, $25 a month, or under $100, whatever it was a month for $1 million worth of life cover. It doesn't take much to do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much to actually get off your ass and go and get it done when the risk of not having it outweighs the risk of having it.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like in Australia, but like in the States, man, what people will pay anywhere from, depending on their age and how many vehicles or whatever they're covered, they'll pay anywhere from 100 to $400 a month on insuring their car. But they will
Yeah,
basically bitch about paying 40 or $50 to insure their life,
yeah.
right? I
Oh,
mean, it's
exactly,
like,
exactly.
come on, what are you thinking here?
Yeah. I always say when I was in practice, so I'm obviously not in practice anymore, but I always used to say, "What's your greatest asset?" And everyone would go, "Oh, my house."
No,
Really? What's your greatest asset? The house. No, it's you.
you. You are your
It's you.
greatest asset, 100%.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's interesting some of the conversations you have with people, like been around long enough, been doing this, been in this industry 18 years now. You have conversations with some people, and they've just got the whole idea, as you say, insuring yourself. You spend $400 insuring your cars and all of that kind of thing, but you don't want to spend $40 on insuring yourself. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
To protect your family, your
So,
loved ones, their future. I
oh,
mean,
exactly. And
yeah.
and that's what it comes down to, and that's why I was passionate about it. Is because obviously dad was an only child. He had to go through all of this drama when grandfather passed away, and for what could easily have been, a couple of 100 grand to
Yeah.
help ease that burden. Yeah, it's not
And it
much. So,
changes too,
you know,
right? So like all my kids are out of the house. I don't have kids here. I have one daughter who went back to college and is doing that. So now when my kids were growing up, I used to carry a ton of insurance because if something happened to me, I wanted my wife to be able to stay home, take care of the kids. If the kids wanted to go to
yep.
college, I wanted them to have those funds to do that. But now I don't carry as much because I don't need as much.
No,
Right
well, you don't
now,
need
all
it,
I'm
and
worried
that's
about is my wife being able to live out her days. So I have
yeah,
enough to do
exactly.
that. If something happens to me, she's taken care of for the rest of her life. I'm
Yeah,
not as worried
exactly, and
about the
that's
kids
and that's what
anymore.
you do. Yeah, you always review it. It's not like it's
Yeah,
set and forget kind of thing. You always review it, but people don't
correct.
seem to get that through their minds. But anyway,
No, I hear you.
you know,
So hey, man,
what is it?
what do you got
You
going
can
on?
lead a horse to water. You
You
can lead a
can't
horse
make
to
them
water,
drink.
but you can't make it unless you force its head down.
So what you got going on the rest of the day, bud?
Today the kids are off to the movies. Yeah, just chilling out. I think I've got a
There
couple
you
of
go.
cricket bats that I'm working on repairing. That I do that as a little side hustle for guys at the club. I just sand them
Yeah,
back and do a bit of woodworking and muck around with that. So that's a bit of fun for me. That's kind of like my release away from the financial services space is,
yeah.
doing something completely different. Yeah, just do a bit of chilling. Um, Prep for work tomorrow. Yay.
Little
At least you get
recovery.
another, at least you get another day.
I do get another day. Actually,
Yeah.
tomorrow's the one day. Usually on Sundays, I do nothing. I might go to the gym. I usually will do the podcast on Sundays. Because it's nice. I take the afternoon, I sit down, I talk with someone for a
Yeah,
little while. It's enjoyable. I edit it. We put the show out on Sunday nights, and I enjoy it. It's fun. It's relaxing for me. But Sunday's the one day I don't do anything,
yeah.
other than the podcast.
It's good to do something away from your normal daily activities. Like
Yeah.
when I first started with the company that I'm at the moment, it was obviously COVID. Um, and so we're on 90%. So it was a 90% work week. So every Thursday afternoon, I used to go down to the cricket club and help the groundsman roll the wicket, do all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, just do all the donkey work. I loved it. I was
Yeah.
outdoors. I was away from the computer screen. I was away from working with numbers and mentally draining myself. I was just down there just doing basic stuff, even though it wasn't the major stuff, but it was a sense of accomplishment as well afterwards, doing something completely different. And it's like, working on mates' cricket bats and things like that. It's something completely different. I've never worked with wood before. It's all self-taught, watching YouTube videos and all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
Um, but it's great to be able to do something that's completely different to what you do in your normal day, and it's just I guess it's your little stress relief.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
It's one of the reasons I go to the gym, and I probably go to the gym more than I should. Like I'll train sometimes 8, 9, 10 days in a row, right? Without a day off because it's Prozac, dude. It is
yeah,
Prozac to me. It's
yeah,
literally like taking an antidepressant. If I am in a bad mood, it sets my day. I usually
mm,
go first thing in the morning. I get up, I go to the gym. It sets my entire day. And
yeah.
when I take a rest day, even I'm like, man, I'm kind of dragging today. I feel a little sore. I should have gone to the gym. I love going.
Doesn't help that we're north of 45 too, mate.
That's right. Yeah, I'm 52 this month, bro. So it's
Oh,
coming.
really?
Oh
Well,
yeah,
happy
yeah,
birthday.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
coming up the
I hit,
30th of
I
December.
hit. Oh, really?
Yeah,
What? Your mum couldn't have held on for 2 more days?
I know. I couldn't have been a New Year's baby. What the hell? That's what I said.
Could have been.
Or
Could have
pop
been.
me out 5 days early. I could have been a Christmas baby.
Could have been. I got a mate of mine who's a Christmas baby. He loves it.
Yeah, it was good, but yeah, no, you
Yeah.
can't get shoulders like this, man, if you ain't going to the gym on a regular basis.
Nah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah. I've got
So,
my little home gym here in the garage that I walk into like 9 o'clock at night after everything's done, and I still manage to get something. So, well, obviously not at the moment with a busted
yeah.
finger, but yeah, it's all good fun.
No, I love it, dude. Well, hey, man, I want to thank you so much. I have really enjoyed talking with you. I enjoy what you're doing with your community, coaching the youth, helping build a facility that they can use to benefit themselves and others. I think that is a great thing. I wish you the best. I know that I'll be in touch. I'm glad to have met you. Very grateful. It's one of the coolest things, man. You're right. You sent me a message talking about that about Access Sledge and that little fitness challenge they did and all the different people that you've got to meet, Heidi and
Mm.
Jesse, and the same goes
Oh
for
yeah, hang
me.
on, hang on. I've got to do a yo, Jesse. How are you? Because I know he hates that.
Yeah, you know, Jesse, the favorite thing, what attracted me to Jesse? That thing, and he's like, hey, they used to do those videos with this stupid ass way.
No,
I love that guy
they're
to death, though, man.
yeah,
He is
yeah.
solid.
And he's look, everyone that I've met through the challenge has been absolutely fantastic. Heidi, Jesse, yourself, the Viking,
Yeah,
Connie, various other people. They've all been
yeah,
absolutely fantastic and so supportive. And that's what I've
yeah,
found. Like the only time that I've really been motivated to do things was with that. And the first year was kind of like, yeah, okay, I'll do it for myself. And then the second year, I got really into it and got the nutrition side sorted through a friend of mine, and I really got stuck into
yeah.
it, and I really saw changes. And then, you know, you kind of wane off a bit, and you go, oh yeah, back into normal drag of
Yeah.
life and all that kind of thing. And then it's
Yeah.
like, sweet, we're coming up to December again. We're coming up to, we're coming up. And then what Connie said, it's not on this year. And it's like,
Yeah, they're
oh,
not doing it
shit.
this year. They're not doing it
Yeah.
this
So,
year, but I'm actually
yeah.
in one right now with Old School Labs.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
Cool.
doing one with Old School Labs. So I'm kind of call myself a supplement whore. Because I am not loyal to any one company, dude. Like Axe and Sledge, the only thing I buy from them is Demo Day. I get
Yeah.
my pre-workout. I usually get from Cutler, and then my
Oh,
protein
yeah.
powders I get from Old School Labs and Evogen. So
Yep.
it's just like
Oh, mate.
I like what I like, man.
Protein powder over here has just gone through the roof. Like a
Yeah,
kilo of protein powder can cost you anywhere between 60 to $100
ooh,
for a kilo of protein
man, that's
powder.
crazy.
It's
Is that because of
expensive
like
as.
shipping and stuff, or what?
Matt, I have no idea, but in the last probably 3 to 4 months, it's just shot through the roof. It's just,
Yeah,
and it's just becomes, it almost puts you off, it almost puts you off wanting to put protein into your body and things like that. Yeah,
yeah.
apart from
When it's that
food,
expensive, that's
yeah,
tough.
oh,
That's
it's a
hard,
joke,
man.
mate. It's an absolute
Yeah, that's
joke.
super
So
hard.
yeah,
But no, that community, I have come across a lot of good people. I mean, Seth Feroci himself. I mean, the dude's rough around the edges when it comes to his mouth. I mean, not everybody can handle that. I don't have a problem with it, but a lot of people struggle with that. But what he talks about is gold, and everything he does is about helping people be better. All of
oh,
his
exactly.
YouTube stuff, his training videos, it's all about
It's
helping people grow and get better. I love that.
it's not bullshit.
Yeah.
It's not over the top crap. It's real,
Hmm.
and the guy talks about real life experience.
Yeah, and you
It's as
can't
simple as that.
do it's the best method. I think sometimes we try to sugarcoat things or find the easy way, and
Mm,
really when you get down to it, there is no way to do anything easy if you want to be successful or good at it,
no,
right?
no, totally agree.
Everything worth having is going to require effort.
Oh,
You're
bloody
going to have
oath.
to put in hard work, but
Yep.
Dylan, man, I tell you what, like I said, I'm so thankful that you came on. I wish you and your family the best. I know we'll be in touch online. If anything ever comes up and you want to come back on here and promote something, whether it be with your local cricket club or whatever, I mean, you are welcome.
No,
It
mate,
has
thank you
been
very
a
much. No,
pleasure talking
thank you
with
for
you.
having me. Well, mate, I feel honoured given the people that you've had on here, and I'm glad you pronounced my surname correctly because I know you have issues with surnames.
Issues with surnames? How hard is it to say
I
Smith,
had to
man?
bring, yeah, I know you had, what was it? Oh, I can't remember the guy's name now. You had him on and you struggled with it. And you even did a little pop up going, I still got this wrong.
Oh yeah, that was Matt. Matt Cora. Man, I got
Koravu.
Corvu. Corvu, yeah.
Koravu. That's
Good. He's a great dude. He's from Canada. That's one
yeah.
of the things that's been awesome about this podcast. We're almost a year in. We didn't know where
Yeah.
this was going to go. I started it just to let you in on a little secret. I put this. I uh, uh, requested the channel name. I got the Work Hard People's Podcast channel in 2021, July of 2021. Posted the first episode in January of 2023. So
Mate,
I
good
was
things.
like, I knew it was
Like all good
something.
things, they take time.
Yeah, it was something I wanted to do just because I like talking to people. It was more selfish than anything else, right? I just want to talk to people and
Yeah.
hear their stories. I love it.
Yeah.
And we started this thing, and I had no idea what was going to happen, if anybody'd even pay attention or not. And we're almost a year in. It's been great. I've talked to some great people, you
You have.
included. I have, we've got a pretty consistent viewership. Nothing crazy. I mean, we seem to do anywhere from 2 to 4,000 views an episode now. We got a couple thousand followers. But it's been fun, man, and I've learned a lot talking to people.
It's it's good because you get your average person on, and I know who your next person should be.
Who's
She
that?
lives. She lives in Alaska.
Oh, Whacker. I've been trying to get Whacker on for a
I
year,
know.
man. She's like,
I
I'm
know.
shy. I'm shy. I'm playing her this part. I'm gonna play her this part. I'm gonna send it.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
I love
no, it's
Heidi.
good. Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
It's good because you've spoken to like average people, like I mean, even getting your daughter on, as a
Yeah.
first first responder or 911 operator, you know, you're able to talk to normal people and have good conversations, and like you're now talking to someone who's in the future.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
great. I love it, man.
it's awesome. I love
It's
it. I
good.
love listening to it. It's great.
Well, I
Mm.
appreciate you, and you have been with us from the beginning. So that is awesome. You've been there. You comment. You let us know what you're liking about the show, and I appreciate that. And like I said, I appreciate you. I'm gonna let you get to your family. Thanks again so much for coming on, everybody. You remember, you
No,
get
no
out
worries,
there and
mate.
you get out there and you work hard, people. So remember, don't forget to smile. Thanks so much for watching or listening. Remember, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can find us on Facebook at Work Hard Peoples LLC or Instagram at Work Hard Peoples LLC. You can also find us on our website at workhardpeoples.com. Have a great day or night. Don't forget to smile.